but it hurt when Steven said I'm gay.
I like Steven. They're friendly.
Steven, make me sick to my stomach.
I went duck hunting with Steven.
They're fans of mine, but I'm even bigger fans of theirs.
Woo!
Hello, welcome to Steven. I'm Steve.
I'm Steven.
And we have a lot to talk about.
I'm Breonna Taylor. Should we try out different names?
Oh, sure. I'm
You know which one's which now.
I'm Ki Hai Kwan, the Data from the Goonies, and with me is Breonna Taylor.
Thank you.
We've got so much stuff to talk about. There was a little bit of a game, but I'm not going to try to segue like that. I can't just like...
How about this? How about I give you a brief history of comedy? This is going to be a little bit of a mission statement of sorts for our podcast. Where do we fit into the comedy world as comedians with 100 and what are we at? 145 subscribers?
146.
We're trending up. Comedy began in ancient times. In ancient Egypt, actually, there were clowns.
Really?
And clowns, they could talk between this world and other worlds. Mm-hmm. And that's what the clowns were good for. And then we move over to ancient Greece, and comedy was reserved only for men. Mm-hmm. And I think they invented comedy. Is that true?
I think so. In like the modern sense of like democratic comedy.
Yeah. Anyone could do it as long as you were a man.
Yeah.
Until the late like 2010s.
Yes.
Before then, you couldn't do it as a woman. Then we had the Dark Ages, the Roman Empire. They wouldn't let anybody do comedy, especially those Jews.
Yeah.
We all know the Jews try to be funny.
They did. Well, the Jews did the offshoot of like the funny business because everyone's like, we don't want you doing any funny business. And they're like, we're not.
Then we'll just jump ahead. There was concerts, saloons, minstrel shows, freak shows. You go dime, nickel, penny museums.
Yeah. And this is like when comedy really took off because in between that era, it was just like the jester and only the king got to laugh.
Yeah.
So this is, we're talking more about like the masses.
Yeah. So this is American comedy at this point. And then you got vaudeville, you got Buster Keaton, the Marx Brothers. They're kind of the modern clowns. They're falling over, making asses of themselves.
Yeah.
So you got your slapstick chaplains.
Still not very accessible though, because you have to have a whole band playing music while you're, tripping and falling.
And it was silent, so you had to be deaf to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then there was radio shows, which really screwed deaf people. Mm-hmm. We are the #1 deaf podcast.
We are the #1 deaf podcast
in the charts.
We are both learning to dance because I noticed like a lot of press conferences, they have like that dancer down in the bottom right corner of the screen. We're learning to dance, so when we go back and listen to the podcast, we'll be dancing.
After that, you had radio shows. You had the Goldbergs.
Yeah,
originally a radio show. You had War of the Worlds. Originally, when people heard that on the radio, they thought it was a comedy.
Yes, they killed themselves when they found out it wasn't a comedy.
And then what happened? When did
probably like TV, right?
Yeah. So then you get the sitcom.
Yeah,
I feel like stand-up.
I Love Lucy first. It really showed the American couple, and a lot of people watching at home, they went, husband and wife sleep in 2 separate beds? Because back then you couldn't show. So
yeah, Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah.
Leave It to Beaver. Can then stand up, you get some of your distinct personalities.
Yeah, who was the first person to stand up? Who was that first guy? I'm going to double check the Library of Congress.
And see who the first ever stand up was.
Yeah. No. First.
Dwayne Hill.
Oh, you're not. No.
He's not. He is not. Okay, go to 1970. We'll say that's when it skip Woody Allen. He doesn't count.
80s. Eddie Murphy. Here we go. Let's just say that. So Eddie Murphy
invented comedy.
He invented comedy. He invented stand-up.
In the modern form that we now know.
Yes. But his stand-up was so cool when he did that special with the red jacket. Michael Jackson actually called him and said, can I use that jacket for a Thriller? Eddie said, there are 2 types of jackets you can borrow from me.
And then, who else do we have?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, she was a huge stand-up. She was the biggest. She's probably my favorite. Then, I don't know, then there was 90s stuff and 2000 stuff. There's anthropomorphic animals and advertisements. That's like its own era of comedy in my mind. Then there was cancel culture.
It hadn't come out yet. Now it's out. Came out first in 2008 when Barack Obama became president because everyone was saying, should we cancel the president for being a...
Whoa.
Hello.
You can't say that anymore.
Your ass in trouble.
Because that's cancel culture. Yeah. And they'll cancel you for anything these days. They'll cancel you for saying Debbie Downer or Negative Nancy because it implies that all women are bitches on their period.
Yeah.
Or some greaseball Guido would say, on the rag. And then comedy reached its pinnacle with Cumtown. Cumtown, greatest podcast.
Unironically, yeah.
Come Town was revolutionary.
It was.
It was the podcast about nothing. It was kind of the Seinfeld of podcast.
It really was, yeah.
But what we're trying to do now, we're blurring the lines between reality and fantasy.
Yes, we are.
Our genre on the Apple charts is actually a high fantasy, sword and sandals, swashbuckler.
Yes.
LGBTQIA plus, another streaming service we didn't ask for.
Exactly.
Can we get the laugh track on that one?
We don't.
Yeah, we're here to subvert your expectations. Because as long as we're bad, and then when we're good, and you won't ever know what to do with us.
Exactly.
You can never corner us. You can never put us in a box. When we're small, we don't care. We're making fun of the big guys. If we get anybody to respond to us, we're winning.
Exactly.
If you respond to us negatively, if you look at our subscribers and go, who are these nobodies? We're winning.
We're winning. We're in your head rent free.
And worst case scenario, we don't blow up. And I have an outlet for my, I see what you have on the screen.
Yeah.
I have an outlet for all my schizo musings. You know, the Norm Macdonald thing, the comedians of the modern day philosophers, you know, the modern day philosophers, philosophers. Yeah. Well, you know, the modern day comedians they're the ones that recite Norm Macdonald bits over and over to let you know how much they truly love comedy.
True.
And they're in the same class as Norm because they reference him.
Yes, they are.
I hate stand-up. That's pretty much the conclusion of this.
Yes, stand-up.
But we're here. We're not doing that shit. We're just going to try to be funny and make fun of people and talk about Final Fantasy XIV and transsexuality.
This episode will cover depression, talk of suicide, transsexuality, and gender dysphoria. The story will certainly have its ups and downs, but I believe that this is a story worth being shared.
So I probably should have played that before the intro, but that's okay. I can do that in post or... No, because now we're getting into the news.
The news.
By the way, that was taken from the podcast that Steven was referencing last week, the person he works with who does the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There's that little snip for you.
I'm talking about, he sounds like a snake. It drives me crazy. Don't talk like a snake. He just slithers into my office and he starts going, you know, what are you doing today, Steven? We're going to talk about transsexuality.
That's what he said. He pokes his head in. My question the question I'm about to ask you is covering transphobia, whatever he said, depression, anxiety. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite recently. And have you ever played Fortnite?
I have not.
Okay. But you know what it is. Everyone knows what it is. Free to play.
Crap. But you've been playing
gay to stay. Yes, but
gay to stay, yeah, I like that.
We're in the time loop where like every 4 years, you played it 4 years ago, now it's coming back. It's a little bit more popular, but Dragon Ball Z, the reason I want to talk to you about this is because Dragon Ball Z was recently added to the game, and you watched the entire show of Dragon Ball Z, right?
Oh, many times as a child, yes.
And even as an adult, like a few years ago.
Even as an adult, yes.
So,
yes.
Fail. No, I'm just kidding. So I thought you would get a kick out of this, seeing Fortnite YouTubers, who are some of the worst content creators. They're so stupid, but their confidence is so high. So you kind of have to admire their work ethic to a certain extent. So there's it's not a spell, it's a power-up. The Kamehameha. That's how you say it, correct?
Yeah.
So here's some Fortniters trying to making their attempts at it.
I'm just
basically the witch's broom just reskinned in the Kamehameha. Okay, wait. Give me a second.
But so before I actually get into that is a correct way to say it, the Kamehameha.
Dude, I'm not Japanese. Look, I'll say this. I've heard it both ways. I've heard Kamehameha. I've heard Kamehameha.
So then this one, though.
It's like when you're verbing it, it feels like they do the Kamehameha, like the drawn out shit. But when they're just like, oh, he did the Kamehameha. But I don't know.
Referencing it.
I don't know. There's got to be a right way. It's Japanese.
And in the game too, so this guy that we're looking at here, he has no excuse because in the game, when you use it, you can hear your character like from across the map shout it. But here's this guy's attempt. It's beautiful.
Pretty much unbeatable. How to make the new Dragon Ball Mythic in Fortnite 10 times stronger. So we all know the Kameyamama is overpowered, but when used, you can't move 10 times stronger. So we all know the Kameyamama is overpowered, but when...
Call me your mama.
Call me your mama. Call me your mommy. Call me mommy. Call me mommy.
So I'm always worried that I'm going to have a moment like that. That was the Pontius Pilate.
Yeah.
That's what that was a few episodes back. I'm always nervous I'm going to have something like that.
Why? You would just edit it out if it was,
That's true.
If it was that bad.
No, you called me out on it. You said, don't cut this because you knew I was going to. And so I left it in.
know that you'll let me look dumb and not you.
That's not true.
And that's no, but hey,
no,
look,
it's not
that's
true.
the privilege you have of editing the podcast.
No, I'm a podcaster with some honor. So
okay.
I save face for both of us and disgrace for both of us. Fortnite had another new skin. We had Patrick Mahomes. He was added, and I don't know if you know this, but Patrick Mahomes. Give me some ketchup.
I want some ketchup.
I got ketchup on my suit. Anyway, he played in the Super Bowl. I didn't know this. I didn't know this the whole time I watched the game because I didn't see his ketchup blazer. I didn't know it was him.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take a stab at recapping the game. Okay. I don't watch football. Steven is a football head. I'm gonna read. You're gonna see exactly what I'm gonna say. So first half of the game, it's not going pretty well. Chiefs are they're down, but in the locker room, Andy Reid, he's telling us, you guys need to catch up. And so all the other players, they know what that means. But Patrick goes, catch up. And so he agrees to the morphine shot to, fix his injury, his leg was hurting or whatever he had. And they ended up winning the game. The Chiefs won the Super Bowl 38-35 against.
What was I going to say? You're not the first person to make the ketchup joke, but good on you.
Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, he loves to ketchup. I want some ketchup. Yeah, let's get some ketchup.
He thought he was getting that ketchup, and then Andy Reid was like, all right, dude, the DeMar Hamlin lookalike slipped the morphine into your bag. Take it.
The game, while we're still on it, the game was great. I loved all of it. It was probably one of my favorite Super Bowls. I liked the other Chiefs Super Bowl was good too when they came back against the 49ers.
Yeah.
And then there's a Patriots Super Bowl when they were down 28-3. Biggest comeback ever in a Super Bowl. So that was a good one.
That is insane. Wow.
I don't know if you know who Terry Bradshaw is. Could you look him up just so you have a reference photo for you? The non-sports guy of the pod. Terry Bradshaw, after the game, when he was handing the trophy, because he had the honor of handing the trophy to Andy Reid, the Chiefs coach. And he said, hey, big fella, why don't you waddle on over here?
Did he really?
Yeah. So he's waddle on over here. So
Come here, you big fat.
Andy takes pride in being fat every time he wins a Super Bowl, which is his second Super Bowl. Nice. He always talks about what cheeseburger he goes and gets in Kansas City. So shout out Andy.
Shout out Andy. So what were the other things that went on with the Super Bowl, the halftime show? The only thing I have to say about this is Rihanna looked like a Teletubby halfway through her costume change.
I thought the halftime show was weird that she got it wasn't weird that she got all this love online because she was pregnant.
Yeah.
That was the surprise guest. Last year, the surprise guest was fucking 50 Cent or whoever.
Like
this
Eminem
year,
and
the surprise guest was a fetus. So she
was going to do an abortion for this halftime show. That was
she had all the little sperm things, all the sperm dancers.
Oh, that's what that was supposed to be?
Well, it might as well have been.
Okay. I mean, it definitely had to have been.
She was a fucking a womb. She was a big red womb and all this sperm around.
And she was like grabbing her cunt.
Yeah.
She did a few like cunt grabs.
Yeah.
Which I've never said the word cunt like referring to like a vagina like that, but the way she did it was like, whoa.
Yeah, I think it got weird about the 5th or 6th time she did it. You know? Yeah.
Could you imagine if she like tripped and fell too and just like
I mean, she was, and like obviously the best meme that we saw or like that I saw was the Smash Bros level meme.
Yeah.
Especially when it was like the 3 levels where she was the highest up and then on each side of her was a little bit lower level.
She was waiting for the Mario hammer to drop.
Dude, and then so when we were watching the game, I was like, I think they're going to pull her out of the stadium. Like, they're just going to keep pulling her up. And your wife was like, oh, they did do it. But it was just a camera being pulled up. She actually thought that, like, they're pulling a pregnant
woman.
Like,
taking her out of the the entire arena.
I thought it was pretty boring, honestly.
Yeah, it sucked.
I think she actually has a good, like, repertoire.
Isn't she like a billionaire?
She's probably.
I don't know. I don't really care for her, to be quite honest with you, but
yeah, I don't even know if there's been one that I've really liked, so maybe but that one was just so basic and boring that I don't know how anybody could enjoy it.
Yeah, there's really no excuse because I do know like The Weeknd did the 2020 halftime or like the COVID one, so they made it this whole like one take video thing. They actually tried to make it look cool, but this one it was like no excuse. Like, why would you get a pregnant woman in general? That's like such a stupid idea. You're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is on that though either. Like when she got pregnant versus when they have to ask the person. You want to go to the ads?
Oh, yes. So Obviously, the only thing worse than, you know, a bunch of jersey wearing 30-year-olds getting excited for the sports games are the people who say, I just watch the sports game for the commercials. Those are really the worst people. And I used to be one of those people. So I'm not, you know, if you're crying right now, just know it's out of love that I'm calling you a complete idiot.
So I feel like one of the ones that got a lot of talk was the Travolta one.
Dude, that one's the best. That one like perfectly captures. When I was going through the YouTube playlist of all those ads, it clicked for me during that one. It was like, oh, the recipe is find actors who are no longer popular, throw them in with whatever company, and just make them do some form of a musical dance. And it was easier for Travolta because he did the Dirty Dancing.
Yeah.
The Scrubs guys.
Yeah, I've been hating on these T-Mobile commercials because when they started Christmas, right? Because the first one with Zach Braff and Black Scrubs was around then. And yeah, I've just always hated celebrities that have vanished, become totally irrelevant, and then just reappear for money grab.
Their agents must be like, okay, well, you can't get any roles, but looks like you're not doing the podcast thing, so we've got you on the list to be in a Super Bowl commercial. You can pick out, you want to do Pepsi or do you want to do Budweiser? I noticed all the beer commercials, they all sucked. And the Budweiser ad specifically was like marketing Budweiser for like as like Gatorade. Because the commercial starts with like these people playing basketball, and then the guy who finishes the game, he, you know, wipes some sweat off his forehead and then just picks up a 6-pack of Budweiser. Like that's going to cool him off. And then there was, in that commercial, they were like singing in the studio. There was like a band, you know, playing, and then the producer, they're all just like drinking Budweiser, and it's not a chug jug. I don't know. Oh, Melissa McCarthy, Booking.com.
By the way, fuck Booking.com. They might as well be beef of the fucking forever. And she's a huge beefy.
Yeah, she is.
One time I had a hotel thing for Booking.com. I had a problem with the hotel where they like did not get my whatever check-in. So I got charged, but didn't like get my thing. So almost had to like, I got into a war with Booking.com for like 2 weeks to fucking get my money back.
And they were like, have you seen the Super Bowl ad though? We've got Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah. Well, fuck her and Idris Elba whenever I see those commercials. Yeah. The Dunkin' commercial.
Yes, I did see that one. Ben Stiller, or no, Ben fucking Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And J-Lo. She just seems like a bitch.
Yeah.
That's always been my takeaway with her.
Yeah, and I don't know what this thing about like the celebrity. I like the celebrities pretending like they're working class people too. Like, oh, I'll do the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru, and the Bradley Cooper, like, I'll be the T-Mobile employee.
Oh, that's the fucking commercial that sucked ass.
Yeah, with the mom. Like, can we do the commercial? Can we riff? And it was so gay.
Ugh.
I hated that one. I loved the Jeep and the Dodge Ram ads because they perfectly captured the spirit of those drivers that we were talking about last week. Like Jeep drivers, I was thinking about this after the podcast because I didn't really think much of Jeep drivers, but like they literally think like the only way for them to justify their 1 mile a gallon like toy that they drive is the idea that at any given moment they can like off-road their way to wherever they need to go.
Yeah.
So that commercial perfectly encapsulated that. The Dodge Ram commercial was about like erectile dysfunction. It was like a joke about what's the boner pill? The Blue Chew. I have a little snippy.
Are you excited about buying an electric vehicle, but worried that it could leave you unsatisfied? Then you could be one of many Americans concerned about premature electrification.
Why? Because the Dodge Ram is the raping truck. Are you worried that if you buy a Dodge Ram, you won't be able to rape everyone's asses in the car when they're going 15 over, but you want to go 30 over? They know their market. They know their customers. So that's actually a really good commercial, and I'm glad that they came out with this hilarious ad.
Well, I do want to say I called my shot on the M&M ad.
Yes, you did.
I was right. It was all a marketing ploy to get Maya Rudolph there. I'm sure other people said that, but it was just so obvious.
Yeah.
It had to be said. And I did say it. The M&Ms are gone. Maya Rudolph is there because her head is shaped like an M&M.
Yes.
The U2 ad was weird. It was for their like Vegas residency. Achtung, baby. I don't know. I just think U2's CIA.
Yeah, they're pretty sussy.
And remember, it was their album that was downloaded on
the mandatory phone. The mandatory Apple 1984 Apple. Feel like you need to listen to
it's
this
just
album.
like the book. Orwell wrote about this. They're gonna put U2 on your iPhone. Amazon had the dog commercial where they brought the new puppy home. People liked that one. E-Trade Babies were back. I didn't see Old Spice.
They aged well.
Yeah. I didn't see any Old Spice or Irish Spring.
I didn't
like
either.
Irish Spring always has one.
Oh, yeah, they do. I liked the Popcorners Breaking Bad one, obviously.
Okay, yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
I loved it, yeah. Actually, there's one part that I kept rewinding because they use one take of Aaron Paul's character, Jesse, eating the popcorn or going, Mr. White, but out of context, it just sounds like he's retarded. But
Yo, these are the bomb!
And they're air popped, not fried.
Popcorners. You're an artist.
Actually, Jesse, it's just basic ingredients. No, we don't eat our own supply.
Mr. White!
Jesse. No, we don't eat our own supply.
Mr. White!
Jesse.
Popcorners is kind of like the meth of chips, too. So they really nailed it on the head of the nail with this commercial.
I love it. Jack Harlow's in a Doritos commercial. I don't even remember what happened there. Alicia Silverstone. Okay, well, I'm done. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm not giving Miles Teller any of his credit.
Last one was the Downey McBride. I thought that was a good bit, making a commercial so you can integrate Downey McBride into like a thing that gets said. And so I've taken this one clip from the commercial. And so this is me when I'm in class and the special needs kid shits his pants and asks me what that smell is.
Smells great, Downey.
There you go. I've got some fake Super Bowl ads because now I've got I have the secret to the sauce. I was able to piece together the ingredients. So these are freebies, but you have to pay me later. We've got a CG deep fake Martin Luther King Jr. hosting a Zoom call with the founding fathers, the guy who invented the water gun, Michael Jordan, Anne Frank, and Rosa Parks. And so this will be for Zoom, and it's like, let's get this party together. Let's get it started in here. We'll start playing. Someone will accidentally play it, and it'll be one of the white founding fathers because it'll be out of character. And it'll be like, Zoom, good for business or a good time.
And they'll kind of laugh in that old 18th century manner where they just, he's playing music.
Accidentally pressed a button, I did.
He's playing a slave jingle.
Yeah. And then I've got, this one's the best one. So Derek Chauvin taking a 5-hour energy, which gives him the strength to, you know. And afterwards, he stands up, he goes, and I still have 4 hours and 51 minutes of the day. Let's see, something about the yodeling Walmart kid. He's going to be doing some tax company's ad. And then I had OpenChat GPT write me an ad of the annoying orange doing an eBay ad.
I also, wait, hold on. I thought that there would be a symphony version of the Burger King ad that we've been hearing.
Oh, that's right.
Year.
Yeah,
Didn't happen. I don't think there was a Burger King ad.
Can you bet on Super Bowl ads, like on what you think they're going to be?
No, but that would be cool.
We can start it right now. Okay, this actually, it wrote way too much for me to read this, but it didn't even get to the funny part that I wanted. Some companies, they like to be self-aware, so the eBay ad would be like, eBay, we still exist. So,
is that their thing?
eBay, we still exist. I mean, that's my assumption. If they had to make an ad, they'd have to do something like that. Whew, so that was the Super Bowl. Solid 6 out of 10, I have to say. Real quick though, we don't do this very often. We're very excited to announce somewhat of a sponsor. Shout out to Bobby Lee's Twitter. So at Bobby Lee Live, go follow him. He is hooking us up with a free MacBook Pro that is of this year and a PlayStation 5. We just went to his Twitter account, followed the links, and now he's sending them to us free of charge.
I keep doing it, actually. I've got like 3 PS5s and a couple MacBooks out of the deal. It's great.
It's awesome. So just go to Bobby Lee's account, follow him, and have your life change.
Man, I love that his account's still liking stuff.
I know. I actually went to his account the other day, and it looked like it might be fixed because Bobby Lee is live. Bobby Lee is rive. No. Oh, no. Nope, from February. Yeah, 9 more left. But then he has some of these.
Scrolling. Hey, they're gone.
But he has 1 left. And that's his most recent.
But they're all gone.
Yeah.
He had hundreds of them. It was like every day or every couple days. Yeah, he's back. Bobby Lee Live. Wow. Wait,
is that Bill?
Georgie! Hey, what the fuck you doing, you little Asian?
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is wow, literally a comedy cemetery right here. This advertisement, WTF, what the Friday? This is from a year ago.
Just for context, we're looking at
Bobby Lee's Twitter.
A tweet from Bobby Lee on August 11th, 2022.
Yes, he's doing this. He did this event, WTF, what the Friday. You know, the writers were like, oh, that's awesome. Headliner, his image is larger than Bobby's, is Nick Swartzen, who has not acted in anything in like the last 20 years. But I still do like Nick Swartzen. I'm just saying he hasn't done a lot yet recently. Bobby Lee, Pauly Shore, and then Becky Robinson, who, gun to my head, I've never heard of.
Okay.
Must be out of all those free PlayStations.
What are we doing next?
You want to do Rucka Rucka Ali?
Yeah.
Speaking of Asian comedians, we've got Rucka Rucka Ali. He has re-entered our consciousness semi-recently. We love him. When did you first hear about Rucka Rucka?
I think the first time was like 2011, probably, or 2010. I don't know. The first one I remember, so whenever it came out, maybe it was 2012, is the one I Can Do Whatever I'm White. That was the very first one. And I saw the music video for it, and I watched it like 10 times in a row, because that's what I did when I was like 13 years old. So that was like the first one. But then that was like all I would buy on like Apple Music for like a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like anytime I would get like the iTunes gift card, I would buy some Rucka.
Damn. Dude, you funded his career, the extension of it for like a few years then.
Yeah. I
remember I'm a Korean. That was the first one I watched. I loved that one. There's some form of charm to like these parody artists who like overcorrect their vocals in their music. Like when you listen to his stuff, you can tell that he has so many effects like overlaid over his voice. And I just think there's something kind of funny to that. I don't know.
Yeah, and he always, because he was like parodying like a lot of rap songs back then too, that was like the height of auto-tune, you know? So he really got to lean into the auto-tune on stuff. So that would always make it funnier because he was overly auto-tuned.
What's he doing now? He has an Instagram. Oh, he had a new song actually. He had a new song about Andrew
the Andrew Tate one.
Have you heard it?
Yeah.
What'd you think? I need to re-listen to it again because I totally forgot what it sounded like.
I thought it was funny, but I'm trying to remember what it was like a parody of.
It was some old song.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He doesn't find like new songs to do parodies of. He stays within his decade. Not for kids.
The following is brought to you by Sparkling Water. What color's your Bugatti? Ooh, Andrew Tate.
Okay, what you say is the parody.
So, yeah, he does give a really good impression of Andrew Tate. I will say that. I can't do an impression of him to save my life. And I wonder if he still edits his videos, but you know, videos well edited, million subscribers. He's still rocking.
Yeah, but I think now he just does singles like every now and then.
Yeah.
Damn, that Ebola one had 55 million. What's his most popular? See what his most. Yeah, 55 million Ebola.
Wow.
Dear White People, Despacito parody, 16 million. That's a pretty big drop.
Yeah.
15 million. My favorite ones are both Obama ones, I think. No, I like there's an Obama one that's a thrift shop parody.
Yes, that one is great. I love that.
Obama, Obama. That one's very funny. My favorite, there's another one that's a Kesha parody. It has something to do with Jesus. That one's funny. What are you looking for?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Are you going to say more songs or anything? I'm just listing off songs now.
I don't remember.
Okay. My favorite Rucka Rucka Ali song is Accidental Racist, the one that's a parody of the gay Macklemore. Yeah. When I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was black. That one.
Oh, I have to hear that one.
Is my favorite.
How do you fucking... I don't know how you spell this guy's name. All right, just...
Because I was on the Weird Al thing when I was young, like 12-ish, probably even before that. 9 to 12, I was kind of a Weird Al kid. And then I find this, and I'm like, this is how you do a parody.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome. It's beautiful.
When I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was black, because I couldn't swim. Destined for a life of fly clothes and golden rims. Told my mom the news with pride in my chest. She's like, Rucka, you never been arrested or failed a drug test. You crazy. I guess she had a point, ain't she? I remember adding it all up together in my mind. I'm a straight A student, taking all honors and AP, and I can't watch Full House if my grades fall behind. Guess I really am white, and that's all I'll ever be.
So there you go. You get the idea there.
Yeah, there's a good George Zimmerman interlude where he's like, see if we can find the Zimmerman interlude. It's probably toward the, there we we go.
It's me. Your job is hard.
Here we go. This is the best part of the song.
If I was Zimmerman, I would think Twitter hates me. Have you read the tweets on the trending topics lately? Fuck you, Zimmerman, you fat f***ity cracker. It's like for every hate tweet George gets, he gets a calorie fatter. Does it matter that he took a black girl to the prom? Or that he got a Mexican cleaning lady for a mom? Nah, just call him white, and he becomes our problem. Killing Trayvon means the same thing as racist.
Okay.
It's the same shit.
Oh, that's so funny. Wow. Another era of YouTube. I can't believe Dave Rubin like had him on as a guest, considering like how gay he is.
But they're both libertarian tards.
That
which is
true.
really the only other thing I know about him. And look, I still like him and I still think he's very funny. And I think he just doesn't give a fuck, which is kind of what I like. So it's like I just like people that whatever they're going to do it to be funny. But hearing him talk about Ayn Rand on Dave Rubin is very bad. And I know you're looking at my whatever you want to call this, my little book
Oh yeah, you do have a
here.
nice little Ayn Rand.
I've got a nice Ayn Rand collection, but you know why? It's because all the intellectuals told me Ayn Rand is full of shit. So I had to read Ayn Rand
to understand that she was full of shit.
Yeah, so I had to see it. And then when I read it, I read Atlas Shrugged. That's incredibly boring. It's about a railroad, so you can kind of maybe guess what Ayn Rand's real.
And that's the biggest book too, the longest book she has there.
Yeah, it's about a train, the whole thing, a trained family. And then, the virtuous self. It's just so simple. It's stupid. That's it. That's really what the problem is. It's capitalism, the unknown ideal. It's like, I think people knew about capitalism like 300 years before you wrote your shitty book. Ayn Rand's a loser.
Yeah. See you later, lady. He should do the Super Bowl halftime show next year. Everyone always has that running joke about Weird Al doing it. No, dude. Rucka Rucka Ali.
I agree.
Breaking and entering, you have a few stories about this.
I broke and entered a couple times when I was younger. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember which one happened first. I think the first time I ever did anything was like during the summer. We would always like go to the school and like I don't know. I lived in a small town, so we were hoodlums running around,
running amok. No cops either.
No cops either, as mentioned in the last episode. And, it'd be like close to midnight and we'd like walk around the school, and you always check all of the doors just to see if any of them. And then the janitor, the door that attached to like the janitor closet. What am I trying to say? I'm talking about the custodian's room.
Yes. Cause it's huge. It's not like a normal room and the doors are like slightly different from like regular. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
It was just like left open, a slight crack, and I just pushed it open. And then we got into the school and it was me. Oh, it was me and my friend and his sister, and we rode those little scooters all around, the little fucking square scooters you sit on with your ass.
Yes, like the skateboard things.
Yeah, we fucking were riding around on those. We got some of the dodgeballs out. We hit each other a few times.
In the gym or like down the halls?
In the gym, because the custodian thing led right into the gym, the gymnasium. And then where all the gymnasium stuff, like equipment, was held. It was just like an open room.
Damn, dude, that's like paradise.
And we stole my gym teacher's CD that she had because every now and then we do like these, what do they call those? Like those rotations, when you'd have to like, oh, now you got to do the step ups.
Yes.
And now you got to go to the other rotation. That was such a lazy gym teacher move. But she had music for that when we would do that.
So like every song you move to a different spot.
Yeah. We stole the CD. We had it, and it was awesome. It was just shitty songs like "Singing in the Rain," "I'm Singing in the Rain."
So like not even like pump up workout songs, just old. Wow, man, it would have been if you took it and just like made a duplicate of it, but then had like some like Rucka Rucka Ali song on it, like halfway.
Do you know about Tony Chestnut?
No, I don't.
Tony Chestnut knows I love you.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that was one of the rotations. How's that exercise?
Oh, that's an exercise?
Yeah. You touch your toes.
Head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Tony Chestnut knows I love you. Tony knows. Tony knows.
It's like a spiritual workout, I guess. I don't know. Hippy dippy.
So we stole her CD. We didn't do anything else. We didn't vandalize the school. But craziest part of that was like the summer afterwards where they installed cameras in like the school.
Oh, so then we got in right before.
Well, but we got to school in August and we're like, wait, all the schools have cameras now? Like hopefully they didn't have them over the summer. We fucking broke into the grade school.
So for a moment there, you're like, oh, am I going to get called into the office?
Yeah. Like the first 3 months of the school year, I was like, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to get sent back to grade school. I was in middle school at the time. I was like, I'm going to go back to the grade school.
You get called, like the teacher in the middle of class, like answers the phone and goes, Steven, go to the principal's office and you're like, oh gosh, here I go. And then the principal's like, Steven, I saw you hold the door open for an old lady this morning. I'm giving you a little star for the necklace. Did you guys ever have those like state mandated necklaces to wear?
Not a necklace.
We had necklaces, and anytime we did something nice, we got like a charm added to it. And at the end of the school year, if you had the most like charms,
the guys had to wear it?
Yeah.
You had to wear it around all the time, or could you just like have it in your desk?
You could have it in your desk.
Okay. Well, I would never have worn that.
I wore it because the first one, the blank slate, it kind of looked like a military like dog tag. So it didn't look gay, but it was gay. But then whenever I got a few charms added to it, I was like, all right, I don't really want to wear this anymore. Like, don't bling it out.
Did you have well, we had stars for a while. Did you get a star at the end of the day when you're in kindergarten?
Something like that,
like a green star if you were good. I only got one red star all year, and it was because I was talking in class when I was in kindergarten.
Damn.
My talking in class got way worse.
I had this teacher in second grade. He on everyone's desk was like a flat. You know how like some Legos have like the land pieces? It's just like flat, so you can put pieces on. A tiny little strip on everyone's desk. And it was one of those classes that he wasn't our main teacher. We would go to his class to do like one like reading or something. And I was like, man, that's so cool. He's got the Lego thing, and I want Legos added because some students had Lego pieces on and others didn't. And one day I'm like taking a test, and he just walks by and like places it onto my desk, and
you're like,
he
hell
clicks
yeah.
it. Yeah. And he goes, anyone with a red Lego piece has to stay in during recess. And I was like, what is going on here? And he goes, so yeah, it was punishment. It was like the people who have the Lego pieces suck. And he goes, do you know why you need to stay in? And I was like, no, I was sat here and I read. And he was like, your pants are loud. And you're like, you know those like workout pants?
I had a few instances like that. Yeah.
He made me stay in during recess. Like obviously
He
I have
didn't
this.
warn you?
No,
That's the fucked up part.
I know. He just put it there. And it's like, dude, I can't control what I guess I can control what pants I choose to wear. But like, if I'm doing that, obviously I need to go outside and burn energy, not stay in and,
Yeah.
So I just did it even more during recess and was more
Also, when a
obnoxious
kid
about
does
it.
that, they probably don't notice it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
They don't do it to be annoying for 30 minutes or whatever.
Right. Even adults don't notice it. Even at my freaking work, they'll sit there and it just drives me up a wall.
That's my first breaking and entering story. Did you have one to share?
I was honestly too much of a pussy as a kid to like break in and enter anywhere. There were probably some school incidences where we would like go around and kind of explore, but didn't do anything crazy. It was like after track practice or something like that. But in one of my neighborhoods, there was this old man who had some land. He had a few like abandoned farm buildings. And so we went and explored there. We didn't find anything too crazy, but he had this like super old house. And when we tried to go in, it was locked. So no, that's the extent of my breaking and entering.
Okay, well, I've got one. This is my craziest one. So we had this girl. This was her house, but she moved away in like 6th grade or something. And she left the house and it was just like empty forever. And it just kept getting shittier and shittier over the next 3 or 4 years. You know, the weeds were very high. There's this. And then, so the first time we kind of went over there, well, we were always like fucking around this house. And to our knowledge, there's nobody there. Nobody living there.
Okay, so you thought like the girl like maybe moved out.
She did move out.
She did move out.
She definitely moved out, and nobody
and just no one took the house.
Yeah, so we thought nobody lived there, and then there was a shed on the outside. So maybe it's probably a whole year before we stole like a little trampoline out of there. It was like still in the box, you know, like the little trampolines.
Oh, really? Yeah,
yeah. So we stole one of those. We gave it to our friends.
I remember I had some friends who were like, yeah, I've got a trampoline at the house, a trampoline and a pool. And then you go and it's like that trampoline, like the 3-foot like radius. Oh my God. And you're like, dude.
So, and we knew that was left behind.
Yeah.
At that point, we'll just say she moved away in 6th grade. We'll say I'm in 7th grade at this point, and we're fucking around in the shed. And there's all these old documents, and we're like messing around there. And then, but then we find the trampoline, and we're like, okay, get the bike, you know. And then I get on my friend's pegs, and I'm like holding this like trampoline box as he like rides back to his house,
stuffing it up your shirt to make it see.
And so then we like took a bunch of documents out of there. They were all pointless. They weren't like cool, but
they just like looked old or something. Yeah.
So I was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like written like on a typewriter.
Oh, okay. Official.
They look classified documents. It's like CIA docs. And then it was me and 3 other friends. But in between this point of like fucking with the shed, we were always like we found paint cans back there. And one time I like stabbed a paint can with the thing and it blew up all over my shoe.
Oh no.
Like I had white shoes and it was a black can of paint.
Oh geez.
And I just stabbed it And it could have literally shot and fucking hit me in the face. But luckily,
But they wouldn't, if you got caught, you'd be free because they'd be like some black kid broke in.
Yeah. And so we were always messing around there. I like ruined a pair of shoes, stabbing, whatever. And then we had one of my friends. He ended up becoming a cop, funny enough, or working at a prison or some sort of law enforcement. That's what all my old friends became, law enforcement. And he said he could pick a lock. And obviously, like, you never believe anyone until they do it. And we're like, okay, cool. So like, we've been trying to get into this house forever. And so he's fucking with it for a while. And we're like, whatever. And then he unlocks it. And then my friend Zach has like a fucking garden hoe and just like hits through a fucking window. So we open the door just for him to break a window 1 second later.
Dude, that's like the kid that I was talking about last week. The kid who just loses it. You can't just like do something. It's like this kid has to piss on the car so the cop sees it. It's like, are you kidding me? Like,
that was his thing for sure. He always had to do whatever and fuck with people.
Now, your friend who picked the lock, though, did he have like a kit with him, or was he just like, what did he do?
I think he had a paperclip or some tiny fucking piece. So yeah, he jarred it loose, and then Zach decided to break the window, and then we got inside and it smelled like piss. There was like piss in the corner. Yes, someone pissed in the corner. So you just said something about pissing on a car. Somebody literally peed in this home.
Was it your friend Zach who broke the window? He pissed in the corner of it? Or?
We'll just put it all on him for anything like that. I definitely didn't pee in this house.
Okay.
And the house had shit all over the place, just garbage, just old boxes, like
hoarders, like a hoarders episode, basically.
Yeah, just disgusting. And so then I think somebody opened the fridge or freezer up, and it was just rotten meat on the inside, and it was just, it was so disgusting. And then we're like, wait, does this person do like garage or not garage sale, but just yard sale kind of stuff? Because they have like all this, like they had like a table with all this shit organized. So they had like a marine cap and all this stuff. And then we're starting to realize like, oh, maybe somebody does live here. And so we start taking stuff. We take the marine cap. We take this. The craziest thing is we took a painting, but it's probably like a reprint, but in a frame of a unicorn giving birth to its young.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
And my friend had it in his closet for like years after this. So I don't know if he still has it, but it was like a very funny. And then we stole like Nerf guns. So there's like random shit there. It was like this person stole from a Walmart or something.
Yeah.
And
were you ever scared at any point? Like, or just thought it was abandoned and just...
There was a basement, and I looked down there. I was like, I'm not going down there. This is like literally a murder thing. And like I start to freak out. And then we're like starting to get ready to leave. We've kind of taken all we can. And I like go over to the couch and I look at the newspaper, and the newspaper is like from 2 days before. So I was like,
oh my
guys, we need to get the fuck out of here. Like this guy could be in the basement right now and like be up here and just like shoot us.
But he's just like, and he's old. So he like didn't hear the pissing and all the other stuff.
Yeah. Like, or he could have like a wired up fucking, like a wired shotgun or whatever they call that.
Oh yeah. Like in Saw, some trick thing.
Yeah.
Or trap.
I had a neighbor like that, by the way, different story. I had a neighbor and he was crazy and he like abused his dog. He beat his dog and left it outside all the time. It was horrible. So like when he wasn't home, I'd like go sneak this dog food and stuff because the dog was just like starving like outside. And he had a load the shotgun wire thing. Like the police ended up arresting him, and he had like to where if you just tried to break into his house, a shotgun would go off.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is,
and he was like, whatever about the dog, because like he caught us a few times and be like, leave my fucking dog alone, And then if the dog did anything, I don't remember what it was, like a bigger dog, like a like German Shepherd or something. But anyway, so that's the story of how we broke into that place and then realized
you didn't see, but you never got caught. You didn't see the guy, or did you ever?
We
like,
saw him later. He was like a big fat Santa Claus kind of guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he was getting the elves had the day off when you guys were going through the North Pole.
Yeah, and he ended up building like a huge fence around the property. So yeah, that was never happening again. But yeah, the only part I feel super bad about, my super bad story is my friend Zach breaking that window.
Yeah.
Because that was like something he probably really had to fix. So.
Yeah, you can clean piss out of like the corner, but like the fucking windows are so expensive too. And it's like, I feel like you'd have to get the right one because then it just looks so obvious. You have these kind of old windows and then there's one that's like brand new, it kind of fucks up the whole house.
Maybe I'll show you this house on Google Maps when we're done.
Okay. Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. especially to find out like, oh shit, someone actually does live in here. Because that had to have been in the back of your guys' heads, or at least yours, like the whole time. Like,
oh, for sure.
Damn.
Like we were tippy-toeing around, like, oh, don't
Mm-hmm.
like in case somebody is here, like we need to be able to run. Like we still were thinking about everything, and then then we stole like a bunch of shit. I don't feel bad. That guy was so disgusting. Like, how do you have your freezer full of just like rotten meat?
Yeah, that's crazy. I need to piss. And then we can talk about some cemetery.
Interlude.
We talked about the history of comedy earlier in this show. And it's always sad when a comedian dies or, when they die. So this is a new segment we're going to call Comedy Cemetery. And I feel like if there's one thing that maybe we have kind of started to have as like a common theme on the show, it's noticing a lot of celebrities that we grew up watching and enjoying and realizing that they're like complete losers. And they will literally throw away their entire life's work for a little bit of extra cash today.
Yeah, and more specifically, the comedians out there.
Yes. The comedians are the worst.
They'll do anything for money too.
Yeah.
Which is why I cannot respect any of them.
No. Especially when they start trying to like talk about comedy, like they're like the gatekeepers of like what is and isn't funny. And so a lot of people watching, they don't realize, they think, oh, these are like the most like comedically educated people. They've done all these open mics. They know what comedy is. But no, what they're really doing when they're setting these like unofficial guidelines for comedy and like comedians, they're just saying like, this is what you do to keep the advertisers happy, because they forget their audience and they remember the advertisers always. And they just run their whole
but you know what
operation
I think is like a much
into the
worse
ground.
problem is that they're not even funny to begin with, most of them.
Yeah.
So it's not even like, oh, they're all sellouts.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of them, and you can't really respect them just because they've made it as comedians, because a lot of them are like 40 years old now.
Yeah.
20 years grinding, living in squalor. I wrote down the age of some comedians here, just so we can highlight where they're at. Sam Morrill. This is a bad podcast I found, by the way.
Sam's podcast?
Yeah, well, one of them, not the one with Mark. The Games with Names. So him and Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman played for the Patriots, and they talk about games with names, but it's just this slow-paced thing. Like, you know how slow Sam Morrill is if you watched him at all? Yeah.
He had, wasn't he the guest on Stav's podcast in like the first episode?
Yeah, I didn't even, I mean, that's how he talks.
So what's he like on stage? Does he do the same thing, but he just has to say, kind of like the Anthony Jeselnik of like, so I tried to watch.
He does kind of woke, a little like slightly woke.
Okay.
Like he doesn't understand why people, like his whole shtick, well, I could be wrong here, but part of his shtick, at least of the one special I've seen of his, on YouTube, check it out now. Sell. Oh, he does a lot of things where he's like, I just don't get why people don't like gay people. I'm like, I guess if you're gay, then that's cool. And, he's so he does like the woke stuff, but it's like out of this confusion for like conservatives or something. I don't know. He's a libtard. He's where Stav's at now.
Yeah. R.I.P. Fat Boy.
But
Fatty
Sam,
King.
he's 37. Mark Norman's 40. Tim Dillon is 40. Whitney Cummings is 40. Might as well be dead.
Yeah.
Stav's 35. They're living in dumps. And I will show you Stav's house sometime. I went on the Beemore County Appraiser site and I saw the house that Stav bought. It was under $200,000. And he lives in the Baltimore ghetto.
Jeez. Was it worth it, Stav, to leave?
It's disgusting. We should do a house review sometime.
Yeah.
I'll find it again and we can read the description of it and I can show you the photos. We could just dox his house.
Yeah. That would be awesome. To look at his house, not dox him.
Yeah.
It also makes sense for a lot of the comedians to like, I guess, sell out in that way too, because they live their whole life, living in these cheap apartments with a bunch of roommates, sleeping on people's couches. And then once their podcast gets a little bit popular, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it and I'll say anything so I can have my own house. I've never had anything for the first time in my life. My parents don't think I'm a loser anymore. But we're going to talk about Roseanne Barr. So Roseanne Barr, this is a weird case because she is someone who's already established herself as a comedian. She's had a very successful career on television. And I guess she has made a name for herself for being quite controversial. There was some like Jewish magazine where she was a baker. She was like Baker Hitler and putting like gingerbread Jews into the oven.
Who was that?
That was in like the early 2000s.
Okay.
It's funny. And then she sang the national anthem, which I'll get to in a second. But she got canceled in 2018 because she said some black woman looked like a monkey.
Yeah.
And her response was, I didn't know she was black, so sorry. So she went away 4 years later, 5 years later. This is what she's been working on. She's been working on this hilarious stand-up special, which you can only watch on the paid subscription for Fox Nation. That's what I was talking about too.
Yeah.
So guys, go to this video, go to the trailer, and 17 seconds in, pause it. There's a nice little Easter egg.
Love it.
Here's what some of her comedy is. So
this is from the special? Or?
This is from the special.
Okay, great. Fox Nation.
They've been living in a bubble forever. Asking questions have nothing to do with the real world. What is my gender, Mom? What is my gender? Your gender is get a job. That's your gender.
She's saying this is her most offensive stand-up special ever.
Thinking.
Wow. This is what happens now. And I was saying it to you the other day. The liberals dictate the rules of the game. This is how conservative comedy works. They get on stage and they say can you believe it? Roseanne's talking about a conversation that she's never had.
Yeah.
You know, I can't believe I have to talk about what gender is to people now. And it's like, most people still don't have to, 90% of the time. But again, the whole special has to be based around the hot button
points,
issues that conservatives care about. It's so lame. And I still like Roseanne.
Yeah.
She looks adorable up there in her all denim and her pigtails, and she's like fucking 80 years old.
Yeah. And to still be kicking too at such an old age and whatnot. But it's sad to see, you know.
It's sad. It's sad to see. And I still like Roseanne. I think she's like you're saying, she's kind of a based, red-pilled, cool lady. You know? I probably agree with her on some things.
It just sucks that she kind of fell for this trap here when Fox Nation came around, because their numbers have to be super low. And they're like, what do we do? Oh, Roseanne. They try to reach out to her like, we want you to do your most offensive special. We're going to censor when you say ass, though. And you can only say, she said this in an interview with Jesse Waters, you can only say faggot 3 times. And I mean, she just, why not? Go ahead. I mean, no one else on the left is going to take her, or in the normal world of comedy, they're not going to take her. This is like the only option she has if she wants to actually continue with what she does. So
has Fox ever done this before? Did you?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, I cannot wait. They'll do a Tim Allen one next. Maybe Tim Allen confirmed for Toy Story 5.
Yeah. Whew.
Wow. Can you believe it? I forgot beef of the week again, but I can think of one while you go through yours.
Why don't you think about what bothers you when the music plays?
I got a beef of the week.
Oh my God!
It's beef of the week.
Woo!
Something that really bothered me earlier this week. I guess you would call this getting triggered, right? Because when I see stuff like this happen, I just like I spiral into this like, how are people even like this? So I go into work, I go into the office. Someone who is also my age, they also have a degree. They start singing along the Dumb Ways to Die. I think that was like a viral video or something like that. But they were just like, dun, 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 and doesn't see anything wrong with doing that, right? And someone else comes in. Guy number 2 enters. Guy number 1 starts da, 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 the music again. Guy number 2 goes, oh, Dumb Ways to Die. Oh, yeah. And then he starts singing the fucking song. And I'm sitting here the whole time. I'm like, how do these people like go through college and just like live in this world and not think that this is the most retarded thing that's going on right now?
We stopped bullying people. That's why.
I know. I guess.
So those people grow up doing that shit. And nobody's like, hey, don't be a retard and sing in public.
I know. I was expecting guy number 2 to be like, okay, hey, can we keep the singing down? But he goes, gosh, that stuff drives me insane. It's like people just can't act normal anymore. And there has to be like so much like emotion behind a lot of the things. Like, hi, how are you today? Oh, good. Oh, having a bad day? It's like, dude, I'm not obligated to talk to you. We're at work. We're not at like play socially fun time.
That is what the guy that we always talk about that I work with the Final Fantasy podcast, he will like do that. He'll like check in on me emotionally.
Yeah. It's like, dude, shut up.
He'll come and be like, is everything fine with you today, Steven? And I'm like, yep. And I'll say it like that with my teeth grit. I'll say, yep. And I'll keep looking at my monitor. Yep. And he'll walk away with, okay then. Well, okay then. Have a good day, sir.
Maybe it would
That's
be
how
a
he
good
fucking talks.
It'd be a good exercise to just like wrap them into like a 30-minute thing. Like just make something up and just see how long you can keep them trapped. Did you come up with the beef of the week?
Yeah, my beef of the week is pigs. Dirty fucking pigs, because I got a ticket today for speeding in a school zone. And I refused to look at the ticket until tomorrow. I needed a day to cool off. But I don't even think, I swear to God, I was driving. It says end of school zone. And then you keep driving up and then there's more flashing lights. And then I'm like, well, is it the end of the school zone?
Yeah.
It felt like I was past the school zone. I don't even know where the school is in relation to me being pulled over. But the best part was I was texting and driving.
And he didn't get you for that.
No, that's what I thought he was pulling me over for, which I always do the same thing. Which I haven't been pulled over that much, but when a cop starts following me and I think they could be, I'll just do the shut my phone off, throw it in the glove box. But like, there's no way I could be on it.
Yeah.
But I've never been able to use that line. So that's my beef of the week is the dirty fucking pigs.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Tell us what you think about the Super Bowl ads. Tell us what you think about breaking into places. And what was your beef of the week? Let us know. We actually do read the comments and we interact with them.
All three of them.
Good, bad, all three of them.
Ugly.
See you later.